All right, so here we are with Hold and Modify, once again, YouTube's most poorly produced, underproduced Amiga channel. It's Q, and this is yet another. I keep wondering, why do I have to make so many of these videos? But you know why I have to make so many of these videos? This is a little complicated, it really is. So this is for all my Mac OS fans out there, my subscribers who went from Amiga and they went to Macintosh, they ignored Windows. Good riddance. We don't want to talk about Windows right now.
This computer will rule the world.
Here we are in 2023, and we've got of course, the system on a chip, M1, M2 Max, and they're all ARM-based. We have an FS UAE that is ARM-based, that works on those Macs. I went ahead and did something I never thought I would do. I completely wiped out all of my configurations and settings I had set up on my Mac for my FS UAE Amiga setup. So over here, when you see it says configs and games, there's nothing in here. This is exactly what you would see when you start up yours. And that's, well, that kind of bummed me out that I did that. If you look down here in the bottom of the screen, okay, it says using Kickstart ROM replacement. That's most likely the Eros ROM. It says click to import Kickstart ROMs. So now, here we go. You've asked for it, and I'm giving it to you. I'm going to show you how to set up FSUAE from scratch on your Mac so that you can emulate the amazing Amiga system and do whatever it is you want to do. Play games, make music, create art, whatever. Demos are fun. Just launching the program, you're going to have done some groundwork yourself. For one, you're going to have downloaded the FSUE program, right? All right, for your Mac. You need to acquire Kickstart ROMs. You also need to acquire Workbench installs and any Amiga software you need. I am not going to give you links or provide that stuff on here because there is many ways you can get that stuff and many ways you should get that stuff legally. But I'm just going to let you know, this tutorial, I know a lot of you keep asking me, how do I do Amiga on my Mac? I'm going to show you, but yeah, I'm not going to show you how to get all those files, okay? I apologize for that, but I just can't show you that stuff because if I did, lawyers show up and people with pipes and guns and knives, they open your front door up and they drag you out and it's misery. So what I'm going to do is, hey, I've got my Kickstarts, I've got my Workbench files, I downloaded this FSUAE program. Q, what do I do? How does this work? Because there's no instructions, right? So here you go. You've launched it. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to scan your ROMs, okay? Those Kickstart ROM files that you've acquired. Go over here to this little Amiga checkmark thing, click it, and go down to... Did I freak you out there? I got really loud, didn't I? Go down to Import Kickstarts. And see how down here it says you should have Kickstart files for each Amiga model you want to use. See all these little gray X's? All these little tiny gray X's. That's so sad. Now, if you went and bought your Kickstarts and Workbench legally from Amiga Forever, absolutely, you can go here and click Browse, pick that ISO image, that CD image, and you're going to get all of this filled in, and it's going to be awesome. Good for you. All right. If you didn't do that, let's click up here to this option up here called Browse. For this example, I have gone ahead and put some stuff in the download folder. So I'm going to click the download folder, and in here you may see in the good old Mac universe, you see OS 2.05. You might see really faint here, DOESN. Up here you might see Amiga OS 205 A600 ROM. So I'm going to go ahead and just click. All I've done is pick the folder because there's a ROM in there, right? I'm going to click OK. I'm going to say import. And it says 1 ROM files were imported. All right, I got 1 ROM file. I'm rocking. Now, if you had more than 1 ROM file, of course it would say more than 1 ROM file. We'll close this out, and sure enough, look down here. Look at all the little gray check marks. Now we have a green one. Well, you know, gosh darn it, if I had just gone out there and paid for Amiga forever, I could have all of these check marks filled in green. Now, for the record, I've bought Amiga forever, every edition that's ever come out. I also own many Amigas. I have many legal ROMs. Okay, Q, so now what? We have 2.05 ROM Amiga 600. So I'm going to show you what we can do with the ROM that I have provided in this video. So again, you saw what we did. We went over here and click the import Kickstarts. So Amiga model, this is the screen we're left with. I'm going to say Amiga 600. And you see how this, it says automatically it's going to detect the 2.05 ROM because, well, that's the Amiga 600 ROM. And it detects, now, for the record, I know some of you are going to scream at me in the comments below. There were Amiga 600s that came out with a ROM different from 2.05. I forget what it was. I forget what it was, like 2.04 or it was something that wasn't 2.05. But here in the States, in NTSC land, by the way, NTSC, click, it was 2.05. So it automatically picked that ROM because guess what? It's the only ROM I have. But there you go. This preset, so if I went to 1200, it says 3.1 ROM. If I go to 3000, it says 3.1 ROM, 2. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is, it sees that ROM, so it picks it. There's nothing else I can do because it's a preset. So we're good to go. Now, what happens if we just hit start right now? We're so impatient. We want to just get into this. We want to just do it. Let's click start. What happens? There you go. Low, high. Boom. There you go. We get the amazing 2.0 ROM screen and nothing. Well, that's to be expected because we haven't done anything else. So we're going to hit left command Q on the Mac keyboard to quit that screen here. Go ahead and move this over here. Next, what we need to do is go to the floppy disk icon. Now, you may be wondering, Q, why aren't you going through every single one of these options and explaining to me what they do? That's why I clicked on this video, because I've made those videos. I've made videos talking about every single one of these tabs. This is the video that's for those of you out there that are like, I just want to do this really fast. I don't care about all the options I can do. That's why. So the reason we saw that ROM only screen is we don't have any floppies. So let's get some floppies. Let's click over here on this little button over here on the right side. And we can go, hey, I want to do this. So let's do the install is the first floppy. Sure, why not? Second floppy, I don't know, I'm just guessing because I know how to use Amigas, right? Maybe the next floppy is going to be the workbench. Okay, cool. And then the third floppy, you know what I'm thinking right now? It's probably going to be the extras disk. Yes, the extras disk. And then the last floppy, gosh darn it, maybe it's going to be the fonts disk. So now, when we boot this Amiga, it's got all the floppies loaded. Now you might ask yourself, well, wait a minute, Q, that's 4 floppy drives connected to an Amiga 600. Doesn't the Amiga 600 only have 1 megabyte of memory? Gosh, you know what? You're right. That's a lot of floppies, right? That's going to take up a lot of memory. So if you go over here and you click on this little chip looking thing that looks like a memory chip, you can see here that all the defaults are configured for the Amiga 600. And, well, chip RAM is 1 meg, of course. Slow RAM is 0. Fast RAM is 0. Because I decided to cheat and put all of these workbench floppies here, all 4 of these loaded up, you know what? Let's go ahead and add some fast memory. Why not? Let's add, 4 megs of fast memory. That's how I did that. Okay, so wait a minute. Q, you've added floppies. You've got the little extra memory. You're going to install Workbench 2.05 onto this Amiga 600, correct? Well, yes, I am. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have a hard drive. You're right, I don't have a hard drive. So, look at this looking thing. What does this look like? A hard drive? Yes. We've got to make a hard drive. So look at this, even says hard drives. So what are you going to do? Click on a folder? Nah, don't do that. Come over here and says browse for a file? Nah, don't do that. Come back over here to a little lovely, warm, welcoming Amiga checkmark and click that and say HDF Creator. So what we're going to do is create an A600 HDF file here. And it's important to note that because we're doing Workbench 2.05, guess what it doesn't do? It doesn't do fast format or quick format. So I don't want to wait 10 years to format my hard drive. So let's do something really reasonable like 20 megabytes. Okay, we're going to do a 20 megabyte hard drive for our Amiga 600. Some of you might be laughing at me and being like, well, Q, that's ridiculous. I'm going to counter you with, you know what? That's not ridiculous at all, because honestly, a 20 megabyte hard drive was huge for an Amiga back in the day. Let's go ahead and click start. We're going to go full screen. And I know some of you are like, well, can't you do a hard drive bigger than that? Yes, of course you can. In fact, you can run all kinds of different ROMs and Kickstarts to go crazy hard drive sizes. But this is 2.0, actually, technically 2.05, and there was not a quick format option as far as I know. So that's why I'm doing such a small hard drive. And it's funny that I say why I'm doing such a small hard drive. It's plenty hard drive for the Amiga 600 running Workbench 2.05, okay? So here we go. As you can see, we've got all of our floppy disks. Here is our D80 NDOS. We're going to click on it. Look at this. We got our 1 meg of chip, our 4 meg of fast, by the way. We're going to go format disk. It's going to warn us. It's going to format that D80. Click continue. Hey, we're really going to do it. Guess what you're not seeing? You don't get the quick format option or the fast file system or any of that. This is Workbench 2.05 for the Amiga 600. So we're going to click continue. And there you go. Look at all these cylinders to go. That's why I only did the 20 megabyte hard drive. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and wait for 17,000 cylinders to do like a 300 megabyte hard drive. But it's important that I show this to you because some of you like to run your Amigas to play video games. Well, most of you do, honestly. So you might be installing 1.3 or 2.0 for the most compatibility for playing video games. And, you know, I'm trying to give you the real experience on how it works, especially if you're going to do it on your Mac using FSUAE. Now, if you use newer versions of Amiga Workbench, I have many, like I said, I have many videos covering FSUAE on the Mac using the latest versions of Amiga Workbench. But I'm trying to give everyone out there the most basic example of how this works. So we're going to let this count down here. 3, 2, 1. Yay! We formatted our disk. Look at that. It's formatting it. Oh, it says empty. Oh, let's go ahead and go to rename. We're going to call this Workbench. How about that? Now, what can we do? Go to the install. Yes, I've enabled turbo mode. Now, you can do prep HD, format HD, all these things. All of this will do what I just did, which is look at your hard drive and set it up. And actually, if I had used these tools, that might have gone faster. Oops. Anyway, I'm just showing you how to use FSUAE. If you're an Amiga person, we're already in Amiga World right now, okay? Hey, Amiga World, that was a magazine. Anyway, if you're an Amiga person and you know how to use Amiga, I don't even need to keep this video going. I can just stop the video right now. I was trying to show you how to set up FSUAE so that you can run your Amiga, right? But I'll go ahead and finish this video. I'm going to say, install HD. Well, now it's time to reboot. And I don't know how to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and quit. All right, so now we're back in here. We're going to make sure we have ejected all of our floppy drives. We still have that amazing hard drive, the A600, with its 20 megabyte partition, ready to rock and roll. We should be good to go. So let's just go ahead and click start again. And boom, look at that. There it is, Amiga Workbench 2.0, well, technically 2.05. And yes, the tick of the floppy drive, because I don't have no-click installed. But yeah, here we go. There's Workbench, all installed. Isn't it great? 2.05. How many of you actually remember Workbench 2.05? pretty old, right? I mean, it's, you know, there was 1.3 and then there was 2.0. 2.05 was a mild upgrade, but man, it's not 3.0, is it? Not at all. It's definitely not the current version of Workbench. But yeah, there's a lot of familiar stuff in here, as you can see. But there we go. We've got, you know, let's go ahead and do show config just for the heck of it. Oh yeah, there you go. Classic. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. This was, you know, just getting FSUEE on your Mac, booting up and working with with Amiga, right? Thanks for watching. I guess I'm done with this video.